Well, when you start doing jujitsu, they start implementing the slinky for a spine. So it's getting there. But I tell you one thing, dude, like now that I'm like officially joined, like my face and like my neck is gonna constant like pressure hurting moment. Like this hurts over here. Like I have bumps on my head, and it's like okay, I'm 40 and I'm getting into this young man's game, but let's go. Although I will say
you showed me that bump in pre-production. That's a nice little
yeah,
knock. That was a knee shot.
It was a niche, an inadvertent knee shot right here.
Check you out.
Yeah, just rolled, wrap up with the guy, and he was bringing his legs up to do a butterfly hook, and
nice.
just it just happened. It wasn't intentional, but I will say this:
it's not ballet, baby.
No, my buddy Jake Joe. My buddy Jake Joe, who owns the place, Superfly Jiu-Jitsu. I roll with him, threw the sharpshooter on him, didn't see it coming.
Nice.
And then immediately, then he just immediately kicked my ass. Like, so.
He immediately kicked your ass.
Yeah.
There was a guy that won an MMA fight not long ago. You sent this video. He beat the guy with a Boston crab. That's great. Oh my god.
I mean that stuff does, like the figure four does evoke a lot of pain.
Sure.
So I mean, like whoever says wrestling's not real, you know what? Get a roll with some of us.
Listen, you think wrestling's not real? Get your ass in a ring, take a bump, run the ropes, dive off the top rope onto a person, land it right. You're fine. But as soon as you fall funny or you fall on your side or you don't land flat, this shit hurts, dude. But it's a whole different ball game out there. But we're getting a little off track, and that's totally fine because I'm all for getting off track. But welcome everyone to season 2, episode 12 of Better Than Broadway. I'm Coach. That's the
BTB.
Chef. BTB. Our boy Metz, Justin should be here any minute. He is currently curling his back hair, and as soon as he's done with that and he's primped and ready to go, he should join us. But until then, Chef, let's start the show. Is Impact Wrestling in shambles?
Well, define shambles.
Okay, well, basically this, your 2 Impact Wrestling World Champions, Josh Alexander and Mickie James, are injured. And I know we're making.
Like, are we talking Cody Rhodes injured? Or are we talking injured? Well, and for those of you listening, these are some heavy air quotes.
Heavy air quotes. Now I know that we're just doing like the whole dun 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 kind of thing, but that was a good picture. Little Danhausen action. Danhausen. But no, we Friday night was Impact's Sacrifice pay-per-view. Thursday, just after Impact Wrestling went off the air Thursday night, they announced that Josh Alexander had torn his tricep. Now let me tell you something. You take a tricep, that's a 6 to 12 month recovery time. He's had surgery. Josh, we wish you nothing but
the triceps, the back of the arm right here, right?
The back of your arm. And Josh, we wish you nothing but the best. We hope that your recovery goes well. It's great to hear that you had a successful surgery. This is a guy who they call him the walking weapon. He is a multi-discipline black belt in martial arts. Dude's a stud. He's tough.
Do we know how the injury happened?
I don't think so. I haven't heard any reports. You just don't know. We were talking about earlier, combat sports, jiu-jitsu and UFC wrestling. They always joke that it ain't ballet, but wrestling's a little more ballet than some of these other things. But again, you can get injured, doing ballet as much as you can doing pro wrestling. So, there's always this. Go ahead.
What's interesting is that, I rarely get injured in the middle of competing or training. It's always I'll get injured, playing the game with the kids. Oh, we're going to jump the river. And I jump over the rope and then I, land on my foot wrong and then roll my ankle.
Yeah.
Or, sleeping wrong, or, you fall off the toilet the injuries happen when like you're in your safe spots,
Sure.
and then all of a sudden, like, well, shit, I totally just ate it.
Sure.
Because I think when you're in the ring, or you're rolling on the mat, or you're sparring somebody, your body's in like defense mode, and so like your muscles are protecting all your vital organs, things like that. At least for me.
Yeah. So to
And
catch
then
so to catch Justin up real quick. By the way, how was your curling your back hair thing? That was good, right?
My back hair.
Yeah.
Shaving my back hair.
Oh, shaving your back. Okay. I
Because
told everybody you were curling your back
if I
hair. I'm
don't
sorry.
shave it every single day, I look like a Wookiee. Yeah.
Okay. So next time you're not with us, I'll let everybody know that you're shaving your back hair, not curling your back.
Well, Shane is shaving it. I can't. I'm not, dude. I'm way too jacked to be able to actually reach my back.
You need to just put like one of those long back scratcher things with a razor on the back.
I would just have this patch in the middle that just looks like an egg that I can't reach. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought you guys were talking about like something to do with like sleep paralysis or something. Like, when you have those dreams and you can't and like they're like weird and you feel like you're falling or like you feel like you're drowning. Next thing you know, you piss the bed and stuff.
Oh my
God.
No, that doesn't happen to y'all. Okay.
So what we were talking about before you came on, we said is Impact Wrestling in shambles or no? So what happened is Josh Alexander and Mickie James are both injured. Josh tore his triceps. That's a 6 to 12 month recovery. Mickie James has a broken rib, so she was unable to defend her Impact women's title against Jordan. So neither one of the main event matches happened at Sacrifice on Friday night.
Yeah,
so
that's ugh.
So here's the crux of it. Steve Maclin and Kushida are going to battle for the Impact World Championship now that Josh Alexander is injured. It was going to be a match with Josh and Steve Maclin. Now Kushida is being inserted into that match, and that match will happen April 16th at Rebellion. So that's one match. The other match is Mickie James. Now, Mickie took a spear from Jordan Grace Thursday night on Impact Wrestling. Now, they taped this show, obviously, 4 weeks ago. So, but that's why I'm like. So they taped this show 4 weeks ago after the last pay-per-view, which I do not remember the name of. And Jordan spears Mickie in the middle of the ring. She'd warned her about, hey, you really shouldn't take this match the night before our match at Sacrifice. On top of all of it, the next match Mickie James loses, she has to retire from wrestling. So you got Jordan Grace, who's on top of her game, who's doing a bodybuilding show this coming Saturday, WrestleMania weekend here in Atlanta. She looks phenomenal, by the way.
She should win that competition.
Oh my God, I hope she wins that competition. She's shredded, and she's a week out. I mean, it's unbelievable. And they taped this 4 weeks ago, so she's probably even in better shape now than she was 4 weeks ago. So best of luck to Jordan Grace in her bodybuilding show this coming weekend. I tell you that to tell you this. Josh Alexander, 100%, that's a completely an injury, no problem. And we wish him the best in his recovery now that his surgery was successful. But with this Mickie James thing, it just seems so convenient that it all just kind of fits into the story. So with that being said, Santino Marella, who is their director, he says that they're going to have a 4-way women's match at the Impact New Japan Multiverse show this coming week. And whoever wins that match will face Jordan Grace for the Knockouts Championship. If Mickey's healthy by then, it'll be a triple threat.
Did Mickie actually get on and explain this last night? Because I didn't watch the show. Okay, because I know that was a thing. It's like, what is this? What's the extent of it? How long it's going to be? All that other kind of stuff. And like, I'm glad to hear that they're not doing the interim bullshit. That's about my 2 cents in the situation. I mean, just give the belt to Jordan Grace.
I think it's kind of like the UFC kind of does a really good job. Like, oh, if you're injured, if you don't compete within like a certain time frame, you're stripped. Period. Like
they don't do the interim anymore.
They're steering away from it, although they just established an interim title 2 months ago because Volkanovski went and fought for the lightweight title.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, they did it to Francis Ngannou. You're like, dude, you're not fighting.
Yeah.
Title's taken away.
Yeah. Well, that's because he's not a part of the company anymore.
I mean, that's what led to that, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair.
Which is, it's great. Also, there's this guy up at work that comes into my work all the time, and I swear to God, he's Francis Ngannou. He's not quite as jacked as Francis is, but I'm like, "Are you Francis?" He's like, "I might be," and I want to be like, "Nah, bro. Like, if you took steroids for 5 years, you'd be Francis Ngannou."
There you go.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for waiting on me. Yeah, it was a long night last night. I had to take a shower to wake up because. So check it out though. Did I show you all this? Y'all seen this, right?
Jay Briscoe shirt. That's sweet.
Yeah, man.
That makes me feel good, buddy.
That's the tribute shirt I got. It took forever to get in.
Yeah, well, they didn't print them until like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like literally like I ordered it that night when they showed it up or whatever. Yeah, I'm sure they had a million orders too.
So how do we feel? How do we feel about the idea that we're going to have a championship match between Steve Macklin, the former Steve Cutler in the Forgotten Sons in WWE, and Kushida, the time splitter himself, battling in 5 weeks for this title? I mean, I really, honest to God, dude, I feel like Steve Macklin has done the work. He's worked on his physique. He's worked on his in-ring. He's worked on his promos. He's done everything that he can do to make himself a better wrestler, to elevate his game. I'd love to see that guy win the title just because. I'm a big fan of Kushida, but Kushida's a junior heavyweight too. And I feel like he needs to, I think they need to put Macklin over and have a heel champion, because it's been a year since we've had a heel.
I think there's going to be a lot of awesome chest slaps, some grunting. There's going to be some yelling and some screaming, and just beefy guys just beaten together. I mean, it could almost be a gangbang. It could just be two guys.
We're gonna get demonetized, Ryan.
From who?
We would like to thank our one sponsor who is no longer sponsoring us after the gangbang comment. Well done.
All those ones and ones of dollars. Is Kushida? So I don't follow it as well as you. Is Kushida the one that plays the guitar, the air guitar?
No, that's Tanahashi. That's
Tanahashi. There you go.
Kushida's the one that's dressed like Marty McFly, and he points at the watch.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, man. I don't know. I like him, but it's always easier to have a heel champion, though, isn't it? Like I feel like there's more ways to have compelling matches, and just get more heat. I don't know. I mean, but I did love him. He did a spot on AEW once when he came out. I forget who did he fight? Was it Hangman or was it Bryan Danielson? Maybe. I forget who it was that he fought on there. But it was a great match. So I admittedly, Rob, I don't admittedly don't get a chance to watch New Japan and some of the other stuff as much as you do, but I love all of it. And to me, like, the gimmicks over there are somehow more ridiculous and more realistic at the same time. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I know. Johnny Swinger is bananas.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of great matches, first and foremost, we wish Josh Alexander and Mickie James a speedy recovery. We hope you both get back in the ring soon, because we love watching you guys perform. But speaking of fabulous matches, holy shit, can we talk about AEW?
Yeah.
Kenny Omega, by God, Kenny Omega, the IWGP US champion, versus the AAA Mega champion, Hijo del Vikingo. That's right, the son of El Vikingo, who was a wrestler in the, I think in the 80s, maybe late 80s, early 90s. But Hijo del Vikingo, that guy has it all. I mean, he's got
he doesn't have it all, because if he had 9 lives before, he's got 5 now.
Oh my God.
He should have died 4 times in that match.
That is so true.
This guy comes out to the ring. He's 5'5", 5'6", little guy. And he comes out and he's got on these big giant Viking horns, the big mask. He's in the ring. He's got the He's got the head shaved halfway. He's got the dreads and the earrings and tattoos and everything.
Dude,
and
he is straight up Sokka from The Last Airbender. And he's got like the Water Tribe outfit on and everything. It's great.
And this guy comes out and he's fighting Kenny Omega, who's 6 feet tall, who's, about 230 pounds. And
225 is what they said, from
with his hair.
North Carolina.
These guys put on one of the best matches I've seen all year. As a matter of fact, when we do our year-end show, I'm probably going to come back and talk about this match because it was so damn fun to watch. Meltzer gave it 5 stars.
It was great.
It was a spot fest. They had tables. They didn't have any chairs or ladders on mine, but the table spot was sick. The acrobatics and the leaping ability and just, I mean, goddamn.
Can we talk about that for a second? Because it was a spot fest, Ryan, but it was tasteful. Like there's a difference between like somebody and like, I don't want to put them on blast, but like a Top Flight or like even like a Lucha, something like that, where it feels like they're just doing spots to be acrobatic and you're at Cirque du Soleil. But like it felt like Vikingo when he did it, and when he did all these pieces, all these spots, it felt like it was supposed to happen and he had to do it at that time. It felt like it fit more. There was something about that match that from the very beginning, when he did the tope suicida or whatever it was that he did on the top of the ring to hit Kenny before he even made it in, it immediately grabbed me and pulled me in.
Yep.
And that's not a super easy thing to do, like because a lot of times when I'm watching Dynamite, well, I'm just saying, like, pull me in from the very beginning like that, because a lot of times if I'm watching Dynamite, I've got the kids, maybe we're eating dinner or I'm doing stuff with them or whatever. I kind of have it on but this match caught my attention and grabbed me, and it was just smash mouth. And I've never seen Vikingo wrestle before. And, I knew I'd like to see Kenny. I was going to pay attention to the match anyways because I love Kenny and his singles matches. And he's been doing the trios, and I'm hoping that he gets further away from the trios thing now. Yeah. But no, just a phenomenal match. If I didn't know that Dave Meltzer gave it 5 stars, but I got nothing to gripe about with it. I don't know if this guy, if we're going to see more of him on AEW or not.
It would be a crime not to sign that guy. But then, how do you, if you sign him, like what path do you put him on? Because
Ring of Honor, they put him on.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, he's so good. Like, it'd be you gotta push him. But kind of to your point, Justin, was like it grabbed you right off the bat. Rob was at my place doing some recording. And he's like, yeah, I'm about to leave. And then, like, all of a sudden, dude jumps over the ring attacking Kenny. It's like, oh, shit. Let me sit back down right here. So that was a great match.
Now, here's what makes this match interesting. Hijo del Vikingo is the AAA mega champion. He's been mega champion since, I'm actually looking this up, December 4th, 2021. So he's been champion for over a year. The former champion who had to vacate that title November of 2021, Kenny Omega. So this is a match that we have been waiting almost a year and a half for, because Kenny had to vacate that title because he was injured. That was why he had to drop the AEW title to who was that? To Mox?
No, it's to Hangman.
Hangman, that's right. He was injured, so he's been gone for a year. So this match, so the idea was you were going to have Kenny and Vikingo fighting for that championship, and it never happened. So this was the match that we've been waiting for a really long time. That match was supposed to happen in Mexico at Triple Mania a year ago, and here we are in 2023, and we got to witness one of the most phenomenal matches I've ever seen on television for free.
Agreed.
There was no anything. And I got a feeling that they, as well received as this match was, TK's got to sit there and go, hey, AAA, we want to have this match again, with the guys for the title. And it didn't have to be on Impact, didn't have to be on Double or Nothing. It could be at Triple Mania next year or this year or whatever.
Does a guy like Vikingo have to do a tryout like that, though? Because my question is, was this a disservice to him and to that match? Because, yeah, you're right. We got, just out of nowhere, we had an amazing match. And that's kind of, how AEW rolls. But, like, damn it, we got so much good television and drama going on right now with WWE, and there's just not a whole lot of storylines going on in AEW, or really none at all that are very compelling at the moment.
Right.
And like, it's just all in-ring talent. And don't get me wrong, I love wrestling. I love seeing a good wrestling match, but I watch it for entertainment. I watch pro wrestling for entertainment. And to me, like, a match like that, you should have give it some time, because that, like, I would have paid money to see that match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would have too. And you might just get through.
Yeah, and you probably will. I guess, you can always do that and then bring it, because he definitely, the story that I felt, his sense of urgency when he got there, you could tell he's like, it's like college football. Like, they're trying to work because they want to get that opportunity. And like, and he just busted at, thank you so much. God, she is just amazing. Yeah, so I don't know, was that a disservice putting it on like that? I mean, they gave it, it was the first match, right, of the night, wasn't it?
I mean, no, it was the final match.
I know. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
But I think, they, out of someone who I had no clue who this guy was, now he is on my radar 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
So yes, it was an oversell, and it was a pay-per-view quality match, like a WrestleMania pay-per-view quality match. But now it's like, okay, well, unfortunately, you set the bar pretty high for yourself, but I'm going to seriously love seeing you try to jump over that bar.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts. But
yeah,
it was
it's kind of like, where do you go from there?
Well, the sky's the limit, man. And
reach for the sky. Reach for the sky, boy. What do you guys think about the reach for the sky ladder match in Ring of Honor?
And speaking of Ring of Honor, I mean, I could talk about this Omega Vikingo match all day, because it was special. That triple springboard Poison Rana was nuts, and the springboard 360 onto the table was bananas. But we go all day. But we got a Supercard of Honor coming up, folks. It's been a year since the Briscoes battled FTR for the tag belts. And unfortunately, with the passing of Jay this past February, January, I should say, we're looking at Mark Briscoe relinquishing these tag titles. You're going to have that ladder match. Mark Briscoe is going to get his chance to reclaim the ROH TV Championship from Samoa Joe. And as much as I like Samoa Joe,
if Mark doesn't win, we riot.
I want Mark Briscoe to win this goddamn match so bad. It's like, I almost don't care about anything else in wrestling in the next 3 weeks with Mania and Raw after Mania, etc. Let Mark Briscoe win this goddamn title, and then let Samoa Joe either go back to AEW or go to WWE or whatever, because as much as he was the heart and soul of Ring of Honor when it started, it's time for him to pass that torch. And it's time for him to go do something like win an AEW championship, beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, something dramatic, something that would be big for somebody like Samoa Joe, who has suffered injury after injury after injury and just keeps coming back. He just deserves a special moment.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, you mentioned
4 years old, man. He's 44. He needs a special moment before he retires.
You mentioned Gunther. I think that's a great shout, actually. I hadn't really thought about that. I'd like to see him stay in AEW, but honestly, at this point now, like, whoever, it's funny where we're at as far as the landscape of wrestling. We talk about this a lot or whatever, but it's at this point now, like, I'm so 50-50. It's really like whoever's going to use them best. It's like, what you got, kid? What's the program going to be? If the program, I think Samoa Joe could, that program with him and Gunther could be fantastic. But also I see him in AEW, going up against, being the guy, like, that's the badass that you need to beat MJF. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, somebody like Samoa Joe, it's going to take someone like him to beat MJF and not to back down on the microphone. Like, what a fucking program would that be? That'd be good, right? Like give them a lot of fucking time on the, you know, on the mic and just let it go back and forth.
Joe can talk. Joe can talk. You ever?
Joe is one of my, I think he's underrated as a speaker. Joe is one of my favorite promos as far as, like, we talked about this in past podcasts about, you know, the validity of it and making it feel like it's genuine and real. Like when he talks like a freaking Southern Baptist reverend. You know, he talks like an Al Sharpton or something like that.
He does.
But he does it with the conviction of like of somebody in the freaking Bloods or the Crips. Like he's like, I'm gonna probably kill you, you know, but I'm gonna speak very properly when I do it. And I'm gonna sound like I'm on a radio, but when I get done, you'll remember what it is. It sounds like a monologue in a fucking, you know, Gerard Butler movie or some shit. Like,
right. 303.
Yeah, 303. You know, with Joe, it would be more like 402. He's a bad boy. But
well, no, I think Joe would be great because I know he always, like, when he was in WWE somewhat recently, he was feuding with AJ Styles and had a great match because that was also like Joe knew AJ's wife and was like kind of taunting her, and then AJ won and kind of buried Joe, and then it's kind of like, okay, well, then he goes and almost gets there, then they dial him back. So it's like, no, I would love to see him have a world championship. And, you know, to your point earlier, Justin, is like, give the, you know, the championship to a heel. And because you want to put somebody over, have the heel beat them down, and then, you know, pulling it out of their heart, someone overcoming that was what made Hangman winning so good.
You know, I'm glad we brought this up because this is actually a topic that I wanted to talk about. I didn't give you guys a heads up or whatever, but I was thinking about it the other day. Because we're in this murky water of where we're at now in 2023 with character, and then also just without getting into politics, but just politics in general. It seems like everything's so divided. It seems like the world is more divided than it used to be, but it seems like wrestling is always kind of this commentary on that. It seems like wrestling is more murky than it ever has been. You know, in the 80s and 90s and even 2000s, we had really, really clear heels and baby faces. And now it seems like, you know, with the advent of, you know, really even Stone Cold, you know, that kind of like anti-hero type, we're seeing more and more in that. We're seeing people that aren't necessarily heel or face at moments. Maybe they show these times of bad guy, good guy, but realistically, they're more relatable because they have a little bit of both in them. And really, I feel like, and I guess this could be argued if it's good or bad, because, you know, you really want wrestling to be something that's easily digestible. But, you know, it's like either you like them or you don't. It's not really like you're supposed to like them or you're not supposed to like them. You know, it's like some people like them, some people don't. A perfect example of this would be like Charlotte Flair. Like, who's the heel going into this show in WrestleMania with her and Rhea Ripley? Rhea Ripley's supposed to be a down, dirty, bad heel. She's with the Judgment Day, for God's sake. She hit Beth Phoenix over the head and did a concerto on her after Edge begged her not to. But people are cheering her as a babyface, and then they were whatting Charlotte Flair this Friday. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Because
nepotism.
Well, yeah, that's one thing. Okay, I'll lay this out. A great tweener, a heel, a tweener, somebody in the middle. A great tweener is somebody that you're going to want to cheer for and boo at the same time. And unfortunately, when it comes to wrestling, we have our favorites. And Rhea Ripley has been a fan favorite since she walked through the damn door. She can play the heel, she can play the baby, she can do what she needs to do. I think the reason that she's gotten so much traction is because this is her first real shot at the WWE Women's Championship. This is what, the SmackDown title, is that right?
Yeah.
She's been NXT champion, and I think maybe I don't know what else. I don't know if she's won the Raw Women's Championship or not. I don't think she has, but this is her first real shot at a big title. It's at WrestleMania. And there's something about WrestleMania that brings out our love for our fan favorites, regardless of who they are. Now, Rhea is a great heel. Charlotte is a fabulous heel. She's not the best face, but she's trying. But when you take Rhea and you take Charlotte, and this is essentially a rematch from WrestleMania 3 years ago for the NXT title, you want Rhea to win because, quite frankly, we're tired of seeing Charlotte come in and have the title. You had that match on SmackDown a couple of months ago where I can't remember, it was Shotzi or it was Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel Rodriguez was fighting for the SmackDown title, and she was injured. She was kayfabe injured, and you wanted her to win. You really wanted her to win, but somehow, some way, Ronda Rousey got the win with some help from Shayna, and then next thing you know, Charlotte comes out and just wins the goddamn title with no build up, with no nothing. It's just like, I'm back. It's mine. Screw you. And it really, I'm putting my middle fingers up. It is a middle finger to the fans because, this is the 14th title reign for Charlotte. And I know they're going for 16, 17 to prove that she's better than her dad. But
hasn't Charlotte openly said,
please let Rhea Ripley win this match?
But correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't Charlotte once said, when I want a title shot, I just tell them and they give it to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just don't like Charlotte Flair.
She said it.
But it's
I just don't like Charlotte Flair now because she flicked off our girl Chelsea. Props Chelsea.
I'll let her know. Chelsea did call her see you next time. So
yeah, exactly.
Well, that'd be my reaction too.
Why are you bringing up old shit, Ryan? Why are you bringing up old shit? No, but to bring it back around, I want to talk more about the Charlotte Flair thing for sure. But I was kind of using that as an analogy for this, Samoa Joe, MJF, this proposed, conflict, feud that we're talking about. Samoa Joe is definitely a really, really good heel, and MJF is a really good heel.
So good.
That has been kind of faux pas in the past in wrestling. Can you make an argument to not have a face in this match and just have two dirty, low down, evil, bad dudes beating the shit out of each other and trying to be more underhanded than the next? Does that work because it's them?
Any company can do it. It's AEW.
Yeah.
Because AEW has kind of adopted the Attitude Era for the 21st century. And WWE has obviously, it's a publicly traded company and they have shareholders to answer to for at least another 3 months. But at the same time, I feel like you have to say, okay, we want to do these things. And if anybody's going to break rules, it's MJF and Samoa Joe. Those guys are going to break all the damn rules, and they're going to throw the playbook out the window. The good versus evil, the face versus the heel. I personally love watching two heels work because it's who can be the most devious, who can be the most undermining. When two faces wrestle, it's boring, and somebody's got to do something.
Somebody's got a handicap. Somebody's got a handicap.
Well, it comes down to
they shake hands and hug at the end,
right. And it'll come down to the Goku effect of he'll dig down a little bit deeper and find he's stronger than everyone else, and then
you have a turn
again,
you have a turn.
But
that's typically what happens when you get two faces. One of them I'm just so frustrated I can't win being a good guy. I'm just going to be a little bit underhanded just to get that little edge that I need. And then that's when they saw the dark side. It's Anakin Skywalker.
But in a way, it's kind of the John Cena thing. But then he actually squatted the Big Show, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That man is strong.
Okay, so now, since you said Cena, that's a great segue. What do you guys think about Cena Theory opening WrestleMania on night 1? They are the first match for WrestleMania on night 1.
I don't care.
I think it's huge. I think it's huge to put Cena on first. I think it's great. It's not a complaint at all.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah,
I'm just not excited about this rivalry, this match. I'm not excited about any of it.
Oh, really?
No, and I'll tell you why I'm not excited about it, because they both lose. They both lose. Because first of all, you got John Cena, who's a 16-time champion. He's a movie star now. He's doing Peacemaker. He's doing all this other stuff with his life, and he has to come back to WrestleMania because they need a superstar to show up and help push the new guy. Now, this new guy could be the next John Cena if they play him right. But I'm worried that if John wins this match and he wins the U.S. Championship, then what? Then Theory's push is screwed. He loses what momentum he has. He wasn't on TV last week. You know, I mean, it's just like you're pumping the brakes on a guy that you should be putting the gas on. And if Theory wins this match, then okay, he beats John Cena. He beats one of the biggest stars of the last 20 years. But what does that really do for him? Because he's still U.S. champion. He's still a green heel. He's still trying to make his way in WWE. And who is he going to face next? You beat John Cena. That's like the biggest win of your career. Who the hell are you going to wrestle next? You're going to wrestle Cody for the WWE title? You're going to work Roman? You're going to work Solo? You're going to go back to working Johnny Gargano? Are they going to take him the way of Karrion Kross, where, you know, he got shit on by Adam Cole and never recovered? Like, what are you going to do with this guy? There's no real plan for what's going to happen to this kid next, whether he wins or loses.
Nobody's going to care for a little bit about him. I agree with that, no matter what happens. But that would happen regardless of who he's fighting at WrestleMania, in my opinion. Look, I've got it figured out, okay? All you need to do is you have Rusev come back and align with Austin Theory, who we didn't know but has been joking the whole time. His real name is Rustin Fury, right? And he's from Bulgaria. And Rusev comes out and in the tank and distracts John Cena, right? And then now they align, they're together, and then they go through this whole thing. John Cena comes back with the American flag a year from WrestleMania to fight Rusev for the loser has to go to Russia or something like that.
Dude, just
I love you so much.
The way you're pitching this is like John Cena is going to come back every year.
Miro's not doing shit over an AEW, man. Let him come back in the damn tank, right?
But I mean, is John Cena going to come out there with a steel walker at some point? Like, I got to come back for 30, 40 years.
Hey, to quote the great Mark Henry, he's still got a lot in the tank.
I'd rather see Mark Henry work Theory than damn John Cena, honestly. And dude, listen, I'm a John Cena fan. I'm an Austin Theory fan.
I just
sucks.
I think that it's very much so. I said this on the last podcast. I think it's very much so. We didn't have John Cena for a long time, and I was one of the guys. You know, John Cena sucks. Oh God, he's just being pushed down throats, this, that, and then he went away. Like with watching his stuff in the movies and just seeing his, everything else, and then just seeing how wrestling was for a long time when he was gone. And he's just so damn good. He's so entertaining. He is the quintessential essence of a sports entertainer and quite possibly the greatest professional wrestler, sports entertainer of all time.
Should he go into the JAS?
Should he go into the JAS?
Yes.
How phenomenal would that be if God, man, if John Cena, I can see it now. John Cena is all elite.
I would die.
You might know this guy, a little name named John Cena,
and then he could wear the hat since he's got the fucking bald spot. He could take Jake Hager's hat.
Oh my God.
Oh my dude, that would be fantastic.
Ryan, you had mentioned something about Jericho earlier and the Royal Rumble. Please elaborate on that.
Yeah. Great point. It was so when I'm play D&D on Thursdays, and the group I play in, I'll throw on Peacock and throw on usually Rumble matches. And I turned on one, it was like from 2010. I'm like, oh shit, Captain Charisma, and it's like, whoa, Christian was okay back then, cool. And he was the ECW champion. And they do all the Rumble stuff. And it's like, wow, but the Rumble is such an awesome medium for rivalries to start, stories to be told, small rivalries to be continued or finished. And the Royal Rumble happens once a year. World title matches happen multiple times a month. And for me, it was interesting as like, oh shit, Jericho's almost going to win. Oh, he didn't win. How many times has Chris Jericho won the Royal Rumble? And 0. And I was like, oh shit. And I'm like, of all the accolades he's won, he's the Ocho. Like, I want him to have a Rumble victory.
Do you think he wants to have a Rumble victory though? Because I'm pretty sure that he could have one if he wanted one.
I don't know. But
are you proposing that he perhaps may end his career in WWE?
No, I don't think he'll go back. But I think, you know, AEW could have their own Rumble. But anyway, I'm just like, of all the accolades, that would be the bow.
Man, let's go.
Yeah,
that would be the bow to actually wrap up Jericho's career. Because the thing is, we have the Royal Rumble. You have people who are like, oh, they're 2-time winners. If they're going to win a third, sure, you know. And I don't know, as complete of a superstar as Jericho is, we all love the guy. I was genuinely surprised to find out he has never won.
That is an interesting statistic for sure.
It is an interesting statistic.
And it's a feather in your hat to have that. What would you rather have? Like 10-time world champion or 2-time world champion and Royal Rumble winner?
I would rather a 10-time world champion. I'm being honest.
There's a lot of money being a 10-time champion, my boy.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's definitely a cool thing, but I also think about maybe, okay, why? Maybe it's because Jericho was so good that he didn't need the Royal Rumble to get the nod for a title match. You know what I mean? Because like when you see the people that did it, the Royal Rumble makes people. The Royal Rumble is typically a maker of people.
Made Bianca Belair, man.
I mean, you do see
exactly
perfect example. And
probably going to make Rhea Ripley too.
You do see Nick, yeah, and that's another perfect example. So you do see big names like Brock Lesnar and stuff like that win it, but you know, like Jericho was already made when he made it in WWE. He stepped on the scene made. He was at the time, and we didn't know it, you know, the hottest free agent, and you know, in the moment, and he made the biggest. He made a bigger impact of WCW crossovers than any other one person. Right. You could argue that him coming back by himself, or not coming back, but entering in and debuting in WWE was bigger than all of the Radicals, right?
100%.
Put together. And so 100%. He was never not made in WWE. So, I mean, and I'm not saying that's why, and I'm not saying it wouldn't be great to have him. I'm just thinking maybe that might be the reasoning behind it. They just,
I mean, that's a very solid argument.
Need him to.
Piggybacking off of this, are there any 2 matches in wrestling, and I will just say WWE because wrestling's very broad. Are there any 2 matches in WWE that make more stars than the Royal Rumble and the Money in the Bank? Pause for dramatic effect.
Not more, but I would say a close third would be like a US Open challenge. Or just the open challenges have made a lot of,
in general
have debuted a lot of people.
Yeah,
I mean, you think about Eddie Kingston, you think about all the people that came out with John Cena. You think about Kevin Owens,
Nakamura, Sami Zayn, all those.
Think about Kevin Owens coming out and beating John Cena.
Oh yeah, when he was NXT champion.
Yeah, like that. I don't think you could have made a bigger, you know, no pun intended, impact than that. But yeah, I would definitely say those are 2 of the biggest staple matches that are like, I don't know that an open challenge is a staple match. It's just a, you know, I guess a gimmick. They're all gimmicks, but yeah, I would definitely say Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank.
Yeah, just looking at how Liv Morgan was elevated in the last year. Carmella winning the Money in the Bank ladder match twice.
Yeah, I mean, look at Zack Ryder. Oh wait, never mind.
Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder is dead.
What about Otis?
Oh yeah, how do you not love Otis? God, Otis is so damn it. He's so fun. I'm not crazy about this maximum male models thing, but I mean,
I think it's fucking phenomenal.
It's hysterical.
If we get Otis in a bow tie and shorty shorts dancing to Working for the Weekend, a la Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley doing the Chippendales thing.
No, put him in Magic Mike 3.
I am here. I will go. And honest to God, if it gets Chad Gable a push as a singles competitor towards a title, God's will was done, because Gable's a monster and he deserves his flowers.
I don't like Chad Gable's. I don't like the comedy act with Chad Gable. I love it with Otis, but I don't like him. I think he's not. I'm not saying he's not good. He's taken what they've given him and he's done great with it. But I just don't like the shush gimmick. It's too old. He needs to be revamped. But Otis, you can do anything with that man, and just he is, like, you use
comedy
perfect
gold
terminology. He, just looking at him is entertaining, and I'm not saying like in a derogatory way, but he's like a Chris Farley. Like the way he moves, he's like a fatter or a wider Chris Farley, a more athletic, I guess you would say, Chris Farley. And he really is entertaining, man. And I love watching the guy. I think, to me, what that stick is like, if you're eating a dinner, it's like a really nice like side dish, or like pita bread. If you go to like a nice Indian restaurant or something like that, you dip it in the sauce, you're like, oh, this is amazing, let me go back to my main meal. Like, that's what that is for me. And you need that in wrestling. Not every single storyline has to be a main event storyline, and just those little tidbits of, like, to me, that's Attitude Era. That's what the Attitude Era were, like the APA and the fucking poker tournaments and stuff like that. That's what that is. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's a little bit of pita bread between your your curry.
And Otis is a legit tough guy. I mean, he is a highly decorated amateur wrestler. Highly decorated. I mean, he won.
How could you pin him? Like, you can't. Like, he's basically a Mr. Potato Head. Like, you're not going to be able to put his shoulders. I don't think his shoulders can both touch at the same time. That should be his.
So, are you saying in theory he's never been pinned?
I don't think he's ever been legitimately pinned. I don't think both his shoulders can touch the ground at the same time. I think that should be an angle. Book it, you fucking cowards. Body positivity.
Bronze medalist at the 2010 Pan American Championships for pro wrestling, or for amateur wrestling.
For amateur wrestling, yeah. But that, I mean, there's your body positivity spot right there.
I love,
like, look. I'm so big and roly poly that you can't spend. Like, there's, let's eat some more food.
Any man that weighs 330 pounds and can do the worm is the best.
Is he only 330? I guess he's short, isn't he? What is he, like 5'5"?
He's 5'10".
No, he's not 5'10". There's no way in hell he's 5'10".
Look it up.
Is it Chad Gable? Well, I'm sure he's booked as 5'10", but what's Chad Gable booked at?
Gable's
6'3".
Yeah, exactly.
Gable's booked at 5'8". Gable's 5'8".
Oh man, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
because then you look at him next to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is only 6 foot.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, you look at him and he looks so much shorter to like a Seth Rollins. So I hate that. I wish they would give out real heights for these wrestlers at this point. Like, they say build height, actual height. Like, let's like actually, like.
Yeah.
Well, you could just be like, oh, well, he's got his boots on, so now he's 7'4". Normally he's 5'10".
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I even remember like meeting Drew McIntyre, and they booked Drew as like what, 6'5" or 6'6" or something like that.
And he's about 6'3".
I swear I'm 6'1", but I'm a real 6'1". I tell people that because everybody's like, oh, you're taller than I thought. It's because I'm not a dating app 6'1", which is really 5'10" and a half. Like, I'm actually 6'1", which in like Bumble or Hinge terms, it would make me 6'4". But like. Right. When I met Drew, I was like, we were standing up, and like, I mean, I'm fucking really close to being the same height as him, and I'm, you know what I mean. So he can't be much more than 6'3". Oh, yeah. Film at like 6'5" or 6'6".
Speaking of Drew McIntyre, on when I was watching the Rumbles this week, I never had an idea that he was part of a faction called a 3-man band with Jinder Mahal.
You didn't know that?
No,
you didn't know that. Oh my god,
that was.
And none other than Mr. I Got Kids.
You know what's insane? You know what's insane about 3-man band is the fact that Heath Miller is the only one in that group that never won the championship. Jinder won it,
but he's the best. Heath
the best,
still the best. And damn it, he needs this job.
Like, honest to God, they should have put him in the damn championship match at Rebellion against Macklin. I mean, granted, he hasn't had a storyline where he's done anything to warrant that, but that's the guy that should be holding the Impact title while Josh Alexander's gone. I mean, come on, like that guy.
I think you bring him back into WWE and you give the gimmick, the storyline is that he never actually left. He's still been there. He's just been so low on the card that nobody even knew that he worked there. And they're like, you still work here? Like, yeah, I still work here. I need this job.
Yeah.
Bring that gimmick back. That was my favorite gimmick of the last 5 years.
It was so bad. It was so bad. Like, the 3-man band has a 10% chance of winning the Rumble because there's all three of them. You know, it's like,
yeah.
Do a vignette backstage where they do like all the stuff that's going on in the background, like the car flipped over and it was Piper Niven and Nikki ASH, whatever. The car was flipped over. You should have them in catering, and then the camera just kind of has Heath in the back.
Show them real quick.
And they go away because like Baron Corbin, no one gives a shit about Baron Corbin. Hey, Baron Corbin. Hey, excuse me, Heath Slater. What are you doing here? It's like, I'm just waiting for my match.
Yeah.
They
keep telling me to show up.
They just kill me. They keep paying me. And then one day,
no, it's the Office Space gimmick. It's like, you know, so the weirdest thing happened. Like he got let go from budget cuts,
but no one told
4
him.
yeas ago. No one told him, and for some reason, knowing a glitch, he's been getting a paycheck this whole time. Like, well, what are you going to do about it? Well, we just fixed the glitch. Like, and then all of a sudden he's gonna be like, what happened? I don't have a paycheck anymore.
That would be hysterical.
Well, I was told that we were going to get the 3-man together, and then next thing I know, Jinder Mahal's in NXT, and then my friend Drew McIntyre is over fighting for the Intercontinental Championship on SmackDown, and I just kind of sit here in catering waiting for my chance.
They took my knee pads, and I
my knee pads.
Gonna set the ring on fire.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh God, look at you cowards. Boys, we got a big week coming up. We've got WrestleMania. We've got Stand and Deliver. We've got Progress. We've got Dragon Gate. We've got an Impact show, and we have Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. So we've got a really, really busy weekend coming up.
Rob, do you have like a calendar off to the side that you're looking at with all these dates?
He keeps looking on. He's got a big whiteboard.
No, I wish I did. It's just that this is how I think.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if you had like all the pins with the strings all.
No, I'm not that weird. I'm pretty goddamn
Rob
weird.
thinks with bulletin and bullet points. He's got like 1A, 1B. I think like 1, 2 monkey, 3 spatula. So we're a little bit different.
My brain is a very scary place.
Rob, you're talking about this weekend. That's so far away. Let's talk about tomorrow, because we have got what should be a pay-per-view main event in 2 undefeated wrestlers going head to head, and someone's streak has got to stop. And that is none other than the Nightmare, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and the Samoan Assassin, the Street King, Solo Sikoa.
He's not ready.
What do you guys think about that?
That's gonna end in a DQ. The Usos are gonna come out and beat him down, and then next thing you know, KO and Sami are gonna come out, and it's just gonna be a brawl.
It has to, right?
And you're gonna have Paul Heyman, and you're gonna have Roman standing at the entrance ramp, and they're just gonna be watching. That's it.
You can't stop either one of their. But then who wins? If it's
nobody,
I guess Solo would have to win. So Solo would have to lose through the DQ. That's
Cody's gonna have him finished, and he's gonna go for the pin, and then he'll get interrupted. I bet.
And then Jimmy and Jay are gonna hit the ring. That's what's gonna happen. I mean, I guarantee that's what's gonna happen. I got 5 on it.
I got 5 on it.
Guys, we're gonna have it's gonna be a great week. It is WrestleMania week, everybody. We can't wait. I know I can't wait, but we're gonna keep you guys posted. We're gonna do a prediction show this week. We'll have that out for you guys. And that's really the long and short of it. This has been great. Shout out to the Nighthawks and Chef Justin. Y'all got anything else to add before we bounce?
I am a little bit off put, and I don't want to make this sound any type of way, but I am a little bit off put that Rhea and Flair are headlining night 1 and not the tag team titles. it's not that they don't deserve it, not that it's going to be an amazing match.
Yeah.
It makes me worry a little bit about the tag title match and what's going to happen in that.
What night is the tag title match?
That was always the stip that the Royal Rumble winner gets to headline WrestleMania. So I mean, that was always the stip.
Yeah, but they've also got 12 main events at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? And they've done that before. Not necessarily that the closer is the main event, you know. So I mean that's I think that's a cop out reason as to it. And I don't know if, you know, it has been stated that it's for political reasons as to why they're doing it. But my question now is, where are they putting the tag titles? Are they putting on night 1? Are they putting on night 2? Like,
I think it would be cool to do it night 2, because then you could have the pillars of Roman coming down the whole night, and by the time he walks out to the ring, he's, you know, emotionally damaged.
I really like that. I think
it's not that I don't like that, but if you put both of those matches on night 2, it's really heavy on Sunday. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like to even out the weekend, you really need to have one on either one. And I think you can still play that story of like the whole weekend. Like, maybe Roman's there on Saturday and he sees this happening and he's like, and it messes with his head in some way, and that plays in the storyline. Or maybe they even get involved in some situation. It's curious to me, and I'm really interested. Has it been officially announced? I don't think it's been officially announced what night they're going to be on. The tag titles are going to be on.
No,
so as of right now,
other than John Cena is going to open night 1 with Theory, in both main events. I think everything else is just going to kind of trickle through. I see both of your points, and I think they're great points. But one way or the other, the Roman Empire falls this weekend.
What if it doesn't?
Oh my God! What if it does? Holy shit!
Right?
If it doesn't,
what if it doesn't? I mean, what if they're going to push it out for is that really that important?
To make it 1,000
days? Yeah.
If it doesn't, you've wasted WrestleMania moments for Sami, Kevin Owens, and Cody, and you've taken a year of booking and flushed it down the toilet.
Well, hold on. Sami and Kevin Owens lose. Kevin Owens turns on Sami Zayn because of all the hate, whatever.
God,
Cody loses because of Kevin Owens. Now all of a sudden you have the biggest heel in WWE, probably in all of wrestling, and Kevin Owens, other than maybe MJF. And now you can go back and have Sami get his rematch because he's owed it against.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that that's what I want. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that, like,
that is an option.
I'm trying to put out there that there's so many different ways that this could play out. I'm not so certain that exactly the way that we want it, because how many times when you watch a movie or something like that do you actually get it? I think if I know Triple H and he's actually behind this, he wants to give us what we want, but we don't know that we're going to get.
Two things. Can you overshadow Roman as the biggest heel in the company with Kevin Owens becoming the biggest heel in the company? And number 2, how can a heel champion, retain the title and turn face at the same time?
Yeah, I mean,
we'll find out.
It would be that for sure.
Yeah,
that would be it. And the thing is that Roman Reigns is not necessarily, like we talked about, he's polarizing, right? But he's over. People watch him. Some people boo him, but a lot of people, I mean, look, whenever he says acknowledge me, everybody acknowledges.
He gets a lot of responses,
right? So I mean,
because we love a good heel. It's the same way with Rhea Ripley. We love a good heel.
Yeah, he's not
Roddy Piper, Flair. We love him. We love a great heel.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyways, I just wanted to throw that in there.
Okay. Well, look, it's WrestleMania. We're on the road. We are officially on the road to WrestleMania. It's Mania week, and it's going to be a wild.
We're on the road that WrestleMania is on. We're not even on the road to it. It's like, another 500 feet. Turn right. Your destination is on your right. Yep. Yeah, like we're literally on WrestleMania Avenue, and we're about to turn into the parking lot.
Your destination is on the left.
Exactly.
Guys, it's going to be a great week. I hope y'all have a wonderful week. I'll see y'all again sometime this week. We will have WrestleMania predictions. We're going to talk about Ring of Honor. We're going to talk about AEW, Impact. We got a lot to talk about. And we'll see you guys on the next one for the Nighthawks for Chef and Justin. I am the coach. Happy wrestling, everybody. We'll see y'all soon.
Make a U-turn. Make a U-turn.
No U-turns. No.
Make
I want a
U-turn.
championship. I want
rate us on Amazon podcast and Apple Podcasts, please.
Oh yeah, rate us. Yeah, rate us.
And we are on Apple Podcasts now. You're right.
We're on Amazon Podcast now.
Oh, yeah.
Moving up in the world. Moving up in the world.
All right, everybody.
Dance us out. Dance us out, Chef. Dance us out.